All right, let's dive right in. In this explainer, we're going to break down a really cutting-edge strategy. It's all about using AI for way more than just creating content. We're talking about setting yourself up as a top-tier technical expert on TikTok. Let's get into it.
So it all starts with a hook like this one. Pretty bold, right? I mean, if you've been trying to grow on TikTok, you've probably heard the complete opposite. But things are changing, and fast. The old advice, it's just not hitting the mark anymore. A statement like this is designed to stop you in your tracks and make you question everything.
And that, of course, leads us to the big question. If just spamming hashtags isn't the answer, then what is? How do you really get your stuff seen and build real authority on TikTok right now? That's the puzzle we're going to solve today. So here's the solution. It lies in a totally new kind of partnership. Instead of just treating AI like a simple content generator, we're going to start thinking of it as our strategic research partner. The goal isn't just one viral video. No, it's about building an entire expert-level masterclass from scratch.
And this is why this whole approach is so powerful. It's not just about being more efficient, it's a positioning play. It immediately frames you as someone who's forward-thinking, a real technical authority who gets not just the TikTok algorithm, but also how to use the next wave of tools to totally dominate.
Let's get into the actual process. Phase 1 is all about laying the groundwork. You've heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out, and man, when it comes to AI, it has never been more true. To get those brilliant, strategic outputs, you have to start by feeding your AI really high-quality, smart inputs.
And the way we do that is by creating what's called a source bundle. Now, this isn't just dropping a random article into the AI. Think of it like you're building a highly curated mini library of expert-level documents just for your AI. This gives it the deep context it needs to find those really unique connections that everyone else is missing.
So what exactly goes into this source bundle? It comes down to 3 key gold sources. First, you need forward-looking trend reports about where SEO and content are heading. Second, a competitor gap analysis, and I mean literally the top 5 articles on TikTok growth, so the AI knows what's already out there. And third, you feed it the hard technical data, the current rules on hashtags, hooks, and keywords. This combination is basically your secret weapon.
Okay, so once your AI is armed with that amazing source bundle, it's time for phase 2. This is where we start pulling out the strategic gold using some really smart power prompts. You're basically shifting from being the teacher to being a very sharp interrogator.
Just look at this first example. See how you're not just asking for video ideas. You're telling the AI to cross-reference everything you gave it, the competitor articles, the future trends, and find the holes in the market. This is how you find those unique angles that make your content feel truly original. Next, you move from the big picture strategy to actual execution. With a prompt like this, you're asking the AI to take its smart insights and spin them into a real asset, a full video script. And notice the little details. You're telling it to start with that polarizing hook we talked about earlier, making sure your content has that killer edge right from the start.
And finally, you close the loop and absolutely nail the SEO. The incredible thing here is that you're not guessing anymore. This prompt makes the AI scan all of your gold standard sources and pull out the most powerful, high-volume keywords. You are literally basing your SEO on proven data from top-performing content.
And that brings us to phase 3, the assembly line. This is where it all comes together. We've got our strategy, we've got our script, we've got our keywords. Now it's time to actually produce the video. And we'll do this using a hybrid AI-human workflow.
The process itself is broken down into 4 really clear, repeatable steps. You generate your audio, you create the visuals, you add your captions, and then you implement the SEO. It's a clean, super efficient system for turning that AI-generated plan into a finished piece of content every single time.
And here's a look at the specific tools for the job. For audio generation, the source points to Notebook LM, where you can even customize the voice. For visuals, something as simple as a screen recorder can work. For captions, CapCut is a great option. And finally, you just use the TikTok app itself to deploy those keywords. It's a full toolkit.
But hang on, there's one last piece to this puzzle, and it's absolutely critical. With all this AI help, how do you avoid sounding like a complete robot? This is the pro tip that really makes this entire strategy work, especially as we look at where social media is heading.
The secret is a concept called identity osmosis. Now, it's a bit of a fancy term, but the core idea is that TikTok's algorithm is getting smart enough to reward content that just feels human and intentional. It can sense the authenticity, the personality, the identity behind it all, even if AI helped build.
So how do you actually do that?
you add a human layer. The source suggests a really simple but powerful technique. Use a green screen overlay of yourself reacting to or commentating on the AI-generated content. That simple act builds trust, it injects your unique personality, and it gives the algorithm the authenticity it's craving.
Which really leaves us with this final thought. We've just walked through an incredible system for scaling your authority with AI, but it all comes down to that final human touch. So maybe the future of being an expert isn't a choice between machine intelligence and human creativity, but actually mastering the art of blending them both together.